fight or flight. There
This
is no
is up
middle
to
of the
Tempest.
road helping the spirit. There's no middle of the road.
This is up
Completely
to
up to
Tempest.
Tempest.
Yeah.
What is it, Tempest?
We are in the
Sky Bison
air.
pilot.
Yeah.
Tempest is gonna, like, he's gonna look down and you just see him getting, like, angrier and angrier. You just go, no, I'm tired of running. And then he's just gonna
Alright.
fucking, he's gonna
gosh.
jerk and fucking go down like this.
Okay,
Okay,
everyone's
then
die today.
You swerve
Then,
down as your companions are fighting on about whether or not what they should be doing, and you see the two fire sages like, "Ah!" and they separate, trying to get away from the impact. And you see the gyre finches sort of level out and stare and fly around, kind of encasing the space in feathers. You look up at the two of them, and you see one of them clutching a jar, and he tosses it to the firebender he has on standby, who's and you see them both in their big Fire Nation hats. You see one that's really skinny and gaunt and has this hunched over physique, and the more imperious, taller, older man who kind of stretches and begins to get ready for what he assumes is going to be a confrontation. He goes, I know this face. Yukurai, don't we know this face? I'm not really good with faces. Were you one of the 13 boy? By chance?
Am I, like, close enough to have a conversation with him?
You are, yes. He's like
Oh,
falling
yeah.
across the courtyard, but sound moves here.
Okay.
Get some rocks.
I don't know what you think you're trying to accomplish here, but there's nothing you can do. In fact, I imagine you would have a lot more luck if you simply turned yourself in. We could help you in the Fire Nation. We have those sorts of resources available if you would just come with us.
I'm gonna huck a big loogie and spit it in his face, just like the other guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All the same. And he looks up to all the gyre finches. I'd rather do this with an audience anyway. And he attacks you with a fireball.
I want to try and knock him off his fucking balance.
Well, then you are all... I imagine are we all partaking in this encounter?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The rest
Kinda
of
got
you
to.
come to the ground with Moonch, who's looking around and airbending with his tail, keeping other firebenders out of the immediate battle sphere. You guys know how this works. Make your stance move.
Son of
Real
a
quick,
bitch.
did the explosion take most of the firebenders away from the area?
It did, yes.
Hell
Right now,
yeah.
the two fire sages and the one other firebender who's not taking part in the encounter, he's just holding a jar.
A jar. Okay, order of combat. Wait. Stance pretext, stance move. To determine how many techniques you can use in exchange, players make a stance move. So we roll for our stance
Okay.
move. What are we rolling?
Well, first, before you roll, you are going to pick a move. So that's going to be either defend and maneuver, advance and attack, or evade and observe. You will know which one you're taking based off the approach you want to take. So, like, there are different moves that you have access to. Like, the general moves will be marked, advance and attack, or one of those. So, depending on which one of those kinds of things you want to do, is the approach you're taking. The approach each has their own roll. So you're gonna roll a d6, and if I were to roll with advance and attack, I would roll with passion. Or defend and observe, defend and maneuver, I'd roll focus, as outlined. Does that make sense?
Okay.
So just take this. We'll take this one step at a time. This will be good for the audience too. Do you
I'm-
know
Okay.
what kind of move you want to take?
Yes.
And we can
Yes.
use all of the universal techniques. We have access to
Yes.
all of those.
Yes.
And then
Yes.
for the specific bending techniques, those are the ones we have to learn with a master.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
However,
Okay.
also like because they're universal techniques, it fits to whatever fighting style you prefer. So like Timon
Yeah.
can use attack weakness with his sword, and you can also use attack weakness with your earth bending.
With a rock.
Yes.
Yes.
Ooh.
So
I'm-
step 1, you've decided what you want to do. What is it?
Attack and approach.
Like the
or,
attack and approach.
Advance and attack.
I'm talking about Zushi.
Oh, I'm not sorry.
Because the combat can get a
Um,
little gritty, and it helps to understand it, and I'm okay taking it one at a time.
Okay, I think probably maybe seek vulnerabilities. I feel like that would
Okay.
would
What kind
that
of move
work
is
with
that?
my character? It is an evade and observe.
Okay, so evade and observe. It works with your character just fine. It is a method of combat. It's not inherently unscrupulous. So you picked evade and observe. Now you're gonna roll 2d6, and you're gonna roll with creativity.
Seven.
All right. So because you rolled a 7 through a 9, you can use one basic or mastered technique in this exchange.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
So is the universal technique a basic technique?
Universal techniques are basic. Hold on, double check.
Yes.
Yes.
I believe they are. Yes, they are.
And I don't have any mastered techniques really.
I think we all start with one.
You should have.
I guess there's
one.
yeah.
Yeah.
There's the one I started with then. Yeah, I guess. Okay. Ah,
Does that make sense?
I think so.
Okay. So now that you know what you're doing, everybody else, you know what you're doing. Keep in mind attack, defend, or evade. Keep in mind because we're gonna
Yeah.
do this in order.
Yeah.
I don't. This isn't D&D. I do not need your initiative. All right. So now we're going to resolve each of the approaches in order. So everyone who did, I picked because I have to let you know. The older Imperious Firebender, who you're kind of attaching with the name Jai-san from earlier, is going to use flame knives and attack weakness. Yukurai, the lesser one, is going to use protect and fire stream. So that is, those are both both advance and attack maneuvers for Yukurai, and then 2 evade and observes. Cool?
Cool.
Cool.
All of the defense and maneuvers. What do you do?
That's me. Because I rolled, I got a 7. I'm gonna use, shit, what is it? I mean, I guess I would have to, like, get closer, but I'm gonna use, my fire whip,
Okay.
and I inflict either 2 fatigue or a condition on the target, and it is the target's choice.
Yep.
And they have to mark fatigue to get close enough to me to attack me. This exchange.
Wow. Okay, cool. So he is going to pick. Yes.
Yeah, and I'll attack the tough guy.
Okay, so he's going to pick angry, which is kind of funny, as a condition instead of the fatigue.
Okay.
Okay. That all?
That's it.
Excellent. Next is all of my advanced attacks. That is going to be Jai-san, who's going to do both. He's going to use flame knives. So you see these. He's going to spend, we're going to say 3 fatigue.
I see why he didn't take the fatigue.
And you see these white hot flames in his knuckles start to take form. Yeah, cool. Making sure. And then he's going to use, while he is kind of held in place, or generally deterred by your flame whip, he is going to shoot a fire blast at Tempest with advanced attack. So, with attack weakness, I'm sorry. So he's going to mark a fatigue, so he's out of fatigues. Oh wait, I made this mistake last time. I can't do that. He has the flame knives, we'll call it good. Next. Anyone else have advanced in attacks?
I do. I am using
Okay,
Smash.
players always go first, so don't let me, if I'm interrupting your thing,
Okay.
don't let me do it again.
Sorry.
Okay.
So I'm marking a fatigue to destroy or destabilize something in the environment, possibly inflicting or overcoming fictionally appropriate positive or negative status. I'm trying to smash that fucking jar.
Oh, it's made of glass, though.
Okay. I'm launching a rock at it.
Okay, excellent.
Mush.
And I rolled. Do I roll for that? Or I marked the fatigue. So
You marked fatigue, so it just happens. You're
Yeah.
gonna roll for it.
sick.
You
Sick.
shoot a precision piece of dust straight through the jar, and it shatters with the firebender trying to hold it up and above everything. And it shatters, and he goes, "Uh-oh." And then you see Jai-san look while he manifests the daggers and goes, "You idiot!" Anything else?
That's all my move is.
Okay, excellent. Next is are you seriously all of you evade and observe?
I realized that I fucked up. I thought mine was evade and observe, but it's actually defend.
Oop.
I have to go through it.
That's fine.
You know what? No, I'll go ahead. Let's do it. Bring it.
I mean, I basically just did twisting wind, and it just says effortlessly. Oh my god, I can't talk. Effortlessly flow around blows like the wind of itself. For each foe engaged with you, who chose an advance and attack approach, clear 1 fatigue and hold 1 momentum. And then if I advance and attack next move, I use that momentum to
Ooh.
instead of fatigue. So I basically just
you
gained
are-
1 momentum.
You are light on your feet. You see him manifest the knives, and you take the airbender approach, watching and going in your half circles like a lot of the airbenders trying to evade things do. Evade and observes. Go for
I
it.
have
what do you
one.
do?
Okay. Do you want to go first, Sushi?
Mine is seek vulnerabilities. So examine your foe for weak points. The next time you inflict a condition or fatigue on them, you may also shift their balance. And if you know what their principle is, then you can mark -1 fatigue to shift their balance a second time.
Ooh, okay.
So, since I don't know what its principle is, I would just shift it away from center.
Mhm.
But
Which
I'm
NPCs,
going to
they only really go one direction most of the time, so.
cool. So I'm going to but the guy, the tougher looking one who is actually fighting, that's the one that I'm going to examine for weak points.
Okay, you sit back and you see all of like the fire whips and the dust, and you sit back and you watch and you take a stance as well, and you look at him as he has his flame knives and his knuckles, and you're sitting and you're waiting. Hyman.
So I'm gonna run up to the main guy with the flame knives. I'm gonna be utilizing bolster or hinder with the hinder, and as I run up, I'm gonna use the opening of seeing that he's distracted from the jar shattering. And with his previous comment, I'll just say, "Oh, he's not the only one distracted," and then I'll unsheath my sword and slam the pommel into his stomach, and I want to inflict the stun condition.
Hell yeah.
Or stun
Does that-
status, sorry.
Okay, that's fine. Does that do any fatigue or no?
No. Stunned, you're caught off guard, you can't act or respond for a few seconds until you steady yourself.
Okay. Sorry, I'm looking for. There we go. I don't know what that means. Okay, cool. You drive the pommel straight. Where'd you want to put it again?
Like right into his stomach.
right into his stomach, and all the wind gets tossed out of him. You see the flame knives flicker. They hover next to him as he almost starts to go to the ground and starts to try and regain his breath. What else?
That's
Okay.
it.
That leaves the lanky, nervous one, who does not seem as lanky and nervous in combat as he should be.
You fierce bitch.
Oh, actually... Sorry. I'm gonna cancel that. I already said it, but this is our first time, so I'm gonna give everyone a little bit of grace here.
That's
Yeah.
fair.
You go to run the pommel into the guy's stomach, and his friend intercepts, kicking your hand away
Ooh, all right.
with a powerful strike. You're not disarmed, but you circle back, and you are ready again for the next round. He also is going to use, if I'm doing this correctly, which I did not, because I also missed a defend and maneuver. Wonderful. That is the end of the exchange. You take status of yourself. The mean one already seems quite quite down on his luck. Yeah, he's smart 15. Sorry, I'm about to get my ducks in a row. You hear the birds chirping, leave, and they all sound as though they are crying. Let's leave. I'm sorry. Damned birds! Shoots a fire blast into the birds, who it seems to miss them all. First it will be you, and then it will be those blasted rats with wings. Careful, Jizan, you don't need to overexert yourself. And Jizan backhand his friends who just saved him. He's, oh, not again. Shut up, Yukurai! And he's going to go again and start another exchange.
Yep.
Okay.
So once again, we make the stance move.
All right.
Yep.
Yep.
And
Oh, hell
you guys
yeah.
are going to go ahead and know what you're capable of. You do not need to tell me at the start of these things. I'm just going to cue you when. We're all going in that same order,
Cool.
yeah? We're good?
Sounds
Yep.
good.
Mhm.
For Yukurai, he is going to pick Defend and Maneuver. And once again, his friend is going to pick Attack, Advance and Attack. So all of my defense and
I'm a
maneuvers
fucking dead
go.
body. Yes. I'm going to run up and I'm going to use Protect. And I'm going to protect Timon. I will mark Fatigue to intercept and stop an attack made against them in this exchange.
Wonderful.
And
All right.
I get something cool if no attack happens, but we'll get there if we get there.
Right.
All right. Okay. I'm also defend a maneuver. That kind of
Okay.
changed. I think that kind of changed what I was going to do though. Status. Okay. Shoot, that threw me off. I'm sorry. I'll do the ready action then. So I mark one fatigue to ready myself. Assigning or clearing a fictionally appropriate status of nearby characters or yourself. So it says assigning, so I'm assuming that means I can give a status?
Yes.
Okay.
I would imagine a positive status.
Yes, in this case
Yeah.
it would be a positive status, and I will go ahead and give myself. I'll give myself favored. I'm feeling cocky now that Yuka is up next to me.
Any more defends and observes? Defend and maneuvers. Yukurai is going to use Fire Strain. And he is going to target...
Cool.
he goes to target Timon, and you hear his friend smack him in the back a little bit. Just not him, you idiot, the Avatar. Yeah. And this stream of fire comes out of his hands, and he's gonna spend 3 fatigue.
Shit, fuck.
Damn.
And you are surrounded by this flame, Tempest. You are impaired, and it catches onto your clothes, lighting on fire. You are doomed.
That. Yup.
Additionally, no, that's all. That is all. Next is my advance and attacks.
I have one of those.
Me too.
Bring it.
You go first since you just got attacked.
Yeah. Tempest is just gonna be like, ugh. Leave me and my friends alone. And then I rolled an 11, so I get to do 2 mastered techniques.
Ooh.
And I am going to cannonball into both of them. I just want to make sure last one, there was only one guy attacking, right? So I only
I mean,
get...
they're both attacking you. They're just kind of like right next to each other.
So then I get 2 of the momentum for last round?
Oh, sorry. I understand. You are correct. Yes, you're right the first time. One person attacked
Okay.
you last exchange.
Okay. So then I mark 1 fatigue, and then my momentum's gone. But I'm going to crash into both of them. And it says you rush at them, you become engaged with them, and inflict a condition on both of them. So... one of them's already stunned, right?
Yes.
Okay. So Tempest he's going to inflict...
No, I'm sorry.
Wait, no, that was
they're not
intercepted.
stunned. That was when I messed up because
yeah.
I didn't know what I was doing. It was intercepted
Oh.
and canceled. So no, he's not stunned.
Okay,
One of
well,
them
now he is.
angry though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll stun both of them.
Oh, is that all? You take a running leap, covered and wreathed in fire, although... So real quick, because you're impaired, would you like to mark 1 fatigue or take -2 to all physical actions?
I'll just mark it. Fatigue.
Okay. You run.
Well, I thought I
into
was
this-
doomed. Am I both?
You are both. You spent 3
Okay.
fatigue
Yeah,
to do both.
you can. Yeah.
But you're about to be cleared of doom. Give me a second. You run full force, this spirit of fire, and you ball yourself up into a sphere as you once did on these very grounds, trying to win a championship. You bowl straight through the both of them and knocking them both to the side on the ground. As the fire extinguishes and you screech to a halt, almost setting fire yourself. What else? Or honestly, you stunned both your targets. There's no one else in this exchange to fight. I'm going to declare this exchange over. There's no
Okay.
fight until a new one gets started.
What about the third firebender who was there holding the
Third
jar?
firebender is gone. He ran.
Oh, he ran.
I threw a
No.
boulder at that guy and he was like, nah.
Yeah, pretty much. Or he went to get it.
Ah,
Yeah.
You have them on the ground. They're stunned. They're coming back. They're trying to come back to their senses, and the Imperious one is like reaching out for the spirit. What do you do?
I want to just bind them both down. Just pull the stones around and just.
with some
collapse them.
rocks.
They sink into the ground, and they both start to come to. You hear the lankier one. Oh man. And the more imperious one Let me go at once! You're making a grave mistake.
What are you doing with the
Attacking
spirit?
spirits.
All right. Cool, we stopped the ritual. Can we go now?
Yeah, the longer we stay, the more danger we're in.
Problem
Driver.
No. What are you doing with the spirit?
What's it matter to you? Don't you have some preservation? This place isn't yours anymore. Are you trying to intimidate him?
Yes.
He's squished in the ground. I think he should get some added bonuses.
I will give you a +1 to this.
+1. What do I roll with this? Is it
Passion.
Passion.
Okay. Oh, then that's a 12.
This isn't yours, and the world slows, as do the birds. And you even see fire come directly at you and wash away on the backs of the gyre finches. There is this immediate sense of quiet as this white one, lands on his head. He freezes. Greetings. Sorry we meet like this.
Immediately bowing.
I have not been in your world too long. I think it was a mistake being here. Your people have called me many names over the years, but one that has seemingly stuck is Waylai. I recognize your soul, Airbender. I'm sorry I could not do more.
Free now. No one's gonna hurt you.
I was always free. These men and their machines of war, and I was once free. But in this realm, I feel something different. Fate, the future, freedom, all wound up into different, terrible things. And I was not ready to let this place go.
No, we can help you.
Wish that were true. But now, there is a reason spirits do not meddle in the affairs of mortals. It changes us. And I am afraid that what has happened to your people is on my head. I should never have tried to hide the identity of the one person who could have stopped all of this.
What is it you wish for us to do?
We be what I tried to be. I'm sorry I cannot help you identify your avatar. But there is one thing that might. It is a dangerous relic from a few hundred years ago. The remains of a very powerful spirit who had the power to go between realms. Father Glowworm. I do not know what became of him, but after a chance fight with the previous incarnation of your avatar, he went somewhere, chose a new form. But time is almost out, and perhaps it will be safer to wait. I don't know anymore. He was a malicious spirit. I also saw them take friends of yours, Airbender.
Where?
She looks up on the horizon and gives you a direction. And then into the west. There are many choices, options. I've just given up deciding which one is right.
It's okay. You've done more than it. Thank you.
The birds start to scatter like piece by piece as the firebenders try and make their way through the cloud.
Good enough. We have a few leads. Let's go now.
Hope you can find a way back home. And I'm gonna climb onto the sky guys.
I'm looking to Tempest, and I'm gonna say, what do you want to do? And I'm gonna kind of like gesture over my shoulder toward Mooch.
Let's go.
Be well, Airbender. And, young man, one of the finches lands on your shoulder.
Whose shoulder?
Whose shoulder? You
Zushi,
have 5.
Sorry,
I was like,
Zushi,
you have 5
God.
dudes here.
And one of them goes up to you. Even if you didn't mean to. Thank you for listening. We
Of
are
course.
connected in a way that even we're not sure of.
I feel that too.
The
Thank you.
finch with the flap of its wings leaves you.
I'm gonna kind of snap myself out of it and follow Tempest and get on Mooch.
The cloud of birds disperse. The gyre finches with one last to kind of throw the firebenders off their own trail. You see them run around chasing birds, only to find that it is simply impossible to catch. You fly away on Mooch. Where do you go?
Just started heading west, I guess.
You get to a certain altitude, and you put together where west is. There is a chain of islands that lead up to the main Fire Islands as well. But there is only one place that the Fire Nation could have conceivably had to drop prisoners. They are invading Earth Kingdom territory, and so they would have had to get prisoners to somewhere. And you're generally worldly wise. There's one place for that. Natsuo Island.
Oh.
Not Fire Nation, also not Earth Kingdom, but they are fighting over the territory.
Oh. Not great either way.
What do you guys do?
We gotta get away from this area as quickly as
Yeah,
possible
I'm
to where we
just
can
like,
recoup.
we need to go. We need to just get
Yeah.
out of here, and we will worry about the rest later.
The Taihua Mountains are rather treacherous. There is no clear path anywhere. Ooh, sorry. So there is no easy way for people to even shoot fireballs at you. You can just duck and weave behind a bunch of different spires and natural barriers. After a few minutes of precision flight and ducking and dodging other fire blasts, you start to see the sunrise.
Oh, good.
Oh yeah, we were doing this at night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You begin to see the sunrise, and you see a clear path ahead into a sea of clouds.
That's
So
pretty much
nice.
exactly how Yuka feels right now. I like to think that was simultaneous, like
Yeah.
both of them at the same time.
I know you didn't do it for me, Tempest, but I appreciate you helping out that spirit.
Have I ever encountered that spirit, Julian?
You were all aware of the Waylai. I don't think a lot of people have directly come in contact with them. The Waylai is the same spirit that has hidden the identity of the Avatar for the past 16 years. Well, 17 years. Ever since Avatar KO's death, there was a spiritual interference that prevented the next Avatar from being identified.
Absolutely. Just something about it just didn't seem. I couldn't live with myself if they took one more life. Thank you guys for all helping.
Of course.
Earth.
One day we're all gonna die.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. Let's maybe keep that day as far away as possible, though. Maybe no more close calls like that. For a while, at least.
It was good that we had Mooch to be able to escape quickly.
Yeah. We'll just like pat Mooch's head. Getting pretty good at dodging those fireballs there, buddy.
We'll do our best.
The
to make sure
entire
both of you
bison
get safe.
and saddle shakes a little. Sorry, you were saying.
What'd you say, Kane?
Oh, I just said we'll do our best to make sure that both of you stay safe.
Thank you. I'll do the same for you guys.
Promise is a promise after all.
At this point, and at least now we know that your friends, at least the ones that they're not sure it might be the Avatar or not, they're alive somewhere.
Hopefully. But
So
What
going back to
happens? What happens if? What happens to the Avatar cycle if you don't know you're the Avatar?
what do you mean?
Like, what would happen? I don't understand. I guess I'm just trying to understand why they would attack the air nomads and try and grab the Avatar, who probably wouldn't cooperate anyway. I guess I'm still coming to terms with what's happened and trying to understand. I'm a little slow. I feel a little behind with it, but I guess I'm just trying to verbalize. What would happen if the Avatar died but didn't know they were the Avatar?
I would assume the cycle would start over. New Avatar would be born.
So that's probably why they had you guys on a list. Because they wanted to control who the Avatar was. Instead of having to find him
It was probably more or less so they could kill the Avatar.
But then they would just be reincarnated in the next cycle.
It would take a while.
I guess I just don't understand enough about it. I'm gonna think a little.
So where are we going next? I'm assuming Natsuo's not on the table, even though that's where your people have went, unless we want to go back into the hornet's nest.
If I may present to my fellow firebenders and Fire Nation and Fire people. Not so.
Hello, Flamio. Hello, hot
For my
guys.
flaming
Hot
men, my hot guys.
The hot guys.
For the hot guys.
Hot guys.
Hot
There you
guys
go.
For just general geographical awareness, Natsuo sits dead center between the Fire Islands and the Earth Kingdom. Generally, having to sneak a bunch of high-profile prisoners into the Fire Islands would require getting them up to port in Natsuo Island. Any more time wasted would be more time that they would simply get deeper and deeper and deeper into the Fire Nation until it is simply not possible to extract them. You are free to do, of course, as you wish. I am simply giving you the information.
Fortunately, if we are still wanting to try and get in there and break them out, not so is our, I don't want to say easy, best chance. Even then, it's not a great chance. But it very well might be the only feasible one if we want to get them.
We would, like you said, though, be going into the hornet's nest, as it were.
I mean, I feel like we should at least try, right?
Yeah.
Agreed.
From here,
I think it's worth it.
It is a good 10 days flight to Natsuo. Well, no, that's 10 days travel. I bet you can make it there in half the time if you're flying.
Cool.
What else happens? That night, when you succumb to sleep, Zushi, fields of cabbage and corn make a fine kindling. Flames fueled by your life's work have all but vanished in front of your very eyes. Despite everything you did, you failed. People died. The child is gone. And you are left with nothing. Your pure heart crumpled like paper, twisted and crushed on the ground beneath you. You watch the fire and smell the death in every direction. The mist has fully enveloped all you were. Now you fear it has devoured all you will be. Before you fly off into the sky.